Yeah, so hello everyone and welcome back to the stream. And in this stream, we are going to discuss all the Toy Story theories because, as we all know, that the Toy Story franchise has been spanning over 3 decades. It's been 30 years, and there are, you can say, a lot of theories, fan theories in these years. And in this stream, we are particularly going to discuss each one of them separately. We'll discuss them one by one. I will discuss each of them, debunk them, or you can say solve them, and it's just our theories, or you can say our opinion over these theories. That what could be the possible answers to these, and where can you can say get these answers. So we'll just you can say dig into these theories so to see that what you can say they really meant. So let's begin. Yeah, what can you say to me? Yes, obviously, the Toy Story franchise has so many theories to explore, discuss, and debate, and it has so many things to, you can say, discuss here tonight in this stream. You know that there are so many mysteries about Andy's family, about toys, like why they need the playtime, and also why they immortal or not, do they die as well, and things like that. There are so many, you can say, mysteries about the toys and the Andy and also the body. So we will discuss all of them here tonight. So let's begin. Yes. Yeah. So we are going to start with one of the basic theories of Toy Story, and we have also made a separate video on it. And that theory is the Andy's father theory. It is the very first, you can say, fan theory, and you can say a theory too, which arises from the Toy Story's very first movie. And the question about this particular theory is that why, you can say, Andy's father is not there in the Toy Story 1, in the Toy Story 2, or in the Toy Story 3. In all these three films, we haven't seen or even heard anything related to Eddie's father. So where is actually Eddie's father? Is he, you can say, uh, has he left the family? Are Eddie's parents divorced, or is there anything else? Something sad like Eddie's father being passed away or something like that. There are a lot of, you can say, conspiracy theories regarding this matter. But today let's dig into, you can say, some more details, and let's find out that what's the, you can say, possible reasons why Andy's father is not present in any of these three movies. And as we have seen, because Andy is the only child we have seen in the franchise being growing up in front of us. Because in the first movie he was a kid, in the second movie he was again a kid, in the third movie he grew up and went to the college. But in all these important years of life, we haven't, you can say, even seen or heard about his father. So this theory actually, you can say, uh, further parted way into multiple, you can say, answers. There are a lot of, you can say, debate over this. Some people or fans, you can say, devise some different theories, some devise some other theories. So we're going to discuss by them one by one. So the very popular theory about this, if we discuss the very first popular theory, that it's something like that actually Andy's father had been passed away even before the events of Toy Story 1. And you can say, they say that Eddie's father was very sick and he passed away all of a sudden. After that, Eddie and his, you can say, family was moving away from that house to a smaller house in the first movie. And the reason that was just simple, because they don't have that kind of expenses, because Eddie's father is no more, so they are moving out of the house. And that was, you can say, a supporting pillar of this theory. And this theory also covers that why Eddie loves Woody a lot, even more than a toy. And this theory states that actually Woody is the, you could say, last gift which Eddie's father gave to him before his death. And that's why Eddie loves Woody so much. Even he doesn't consider him a toy. He treats him like, you could say, a family member. And even we could say, we have heard Mrs. Davis saying to Al in Toy Story 2 that Woody is not just a toy; it's a family, you can say, item or a family toy, because he is, you can say, not just a simple toy. And that, you can say, also makes sense to some extent. But also there are some counter arguments to this theory as well, because a lot of people argue that if Andy's father had been passed away, why there isn't any photo of him in the whole, you can say, three movies? Because even if he had passed away, then Andy knows that his father is no more. Why, where is there, you can say, any picture of his father or anything, you can say, like that? Even in the Toy Story 3, in the graduation picture of Eddie, around that we can't see any, you can see anything like that, or any in the family photos in Toy Story 1 or Toy Story 2, we didn't see Eddie's father anywhere there. So the question is definitely obvious, that where is actually Eddie's father? If he had passed away, then certainly there would be, I could say, a photo of him in the house or in the family pictures, but it was nowhere there. And here comes out the second theory, which Tanir will explain to you. Yes, and here comes out the second theory, which is the divorce theory. Yes, which ultimately says that in the first Toy Story, we do the first Toy Story movie, both the teddy bears were, you can say, going through a divorce, and that also makes sense that why in the first film, by that the first film, we can see that Eddie with his mom shifting to a new house, or you can say even a smaller house than before. That's why they are shifting to a smaller house, and also that also makes sense that why Eddie, there is no picture in the house or anything related to Eddie's father in the house. Uh, even in the Toy Story 2 and then the Toy Story 3 and till the Eddie's arc, there is nothing about his father, or no discussion, no any, you can say, associate thing rather than Woody, because but it is also debatable that whether Woody is Eddie's father twice, because here after one point you missed to mention is that Woody is a 90s 50s collectible, obviously. So it means that Woody is so much old toy. And also, as you said, that the Mrs. Davis said that the Eddie's mom said that it is an old family toy. So that also, you can say, there are some factors which debug this theory as well, the divorce theory, because it states that it isn't possible that Woody is, you can say, originally belonged to Eddie. There must be some original owner of Woody, which is not there in the Toy Story, obviously, because he's a 1950s collectible, and Eddie is only 8 years old, I think so, in the Toy Story 1. So definitely, Woody, it has been passed on to Eddie by someone, maybe his father, maybe or someone else, but most probably his father, and that debugs the this theory as well. So these theories are interconnected and also debug each other. There are some factors which limit both of them. The divorce theory, however, have a very, you can say, huge uh, base from the first movie. After the event of first movie, many people thought that the divorce theory is the most applicable theory. But the second installment, you can say, totally destroy it, Akhtar, because in the second installment, first of all, when Mrs. Davis said that Eddie's mother said that Woody has an old family toy, which definitely makes sense that it has been passed on to Eddie by someone in the family. Secondly, also we see that Woody is a 1950s old collectible in that Toy Story 2, which also makes sense that Woody is such an old toy. So how Eddie can own it originally? So it must be passed on by someone to Eddie. So the second installment make this theory so much, you can say, unrelated, and after that many other theories emerges, and which we are going to discuss here at tonight at this stream. Yes. that. Yes, definitely, Akhtar. The yeah, sorry for the interruption. Yeah, yeah, it's definitely Akhtar. One thing which is still unclear in this context is that here I want to mention. Yes, was- one thing which is here I want to mention is that the pictures in Eddie's house, there are some pictures, if you notice, in the first Toy Story movie when Eddie is running down the stairs with Woody. In the opening scenes, we could see the pictures of a child, and that child is definitely not Eddie because it has the, you can say, first of all, the child is different in the, you can say, looking as well, and appearance as well, but also the child has, you can say, the bracelets in the teeth and things like that, the braces in the teeth. So definitely that child isn't Eddie, and if it isn't Eddie, so who is that child? That's also, you can say, emerges the theory of, first of all, it emerges the death theory that it was Eddie's father's childhood pictures. But after the administrator has officially debunked that theory, then it's still, you can say, a mystery that who is that child in the pictures, because it's definitely not Andy. So if it's not Andy, and if we believe in the divorce theory, then why are those pictures there, and who that child is actually? That's totally, you can say, make a mystery here, that it doesn't make sense that who is that child in the background. And if we zoom for a second that it's Andy, then why it doesn't show like Andy? And Andy doesn't have braces, and also that child, you can say, look like the age, same age at which the Andy Toy Story one, and Andy doesn't have braces at that time. So who is that child? That's also make the things unclear. And also yes, if we get to the official things, that definitely it's they have the valid reason. The Pixar team has already stated that during the first Toy Story movie, obviously in 1995, the animation was so much costly, especially the computer generated animation. So that's why they cut off the characters to cut off the budget, things like that. And they said that they cut off the father character because it doesn't, you can say, have any main thing in the plot. So that's why they have cut him off. But still, it's, you can say, so much strange that they even add the Molly in the first film. They have added the character of Molly, but they didn't add the father's character. That's so much, you can say, surprising. Like, if you ask me, that I could suggest that they, in the first movie, in the first two movies, if they wanted, if which were made in the 90s, obviously when the animation was so much expensive, they could include the character of the father, and in the third installment they could introduce Boli, and or maybe in the second installment they could introduce Boli's character. So it's not necessary to be there in the since the first movie. So that doesn't make any sense that from their statement that they want to cut off the characters and still they add the Molly's character there. I know that Molly's character wasn't there for all time. It was there for a few, you can say, scenes as well. And and a child character is so much, you can say, easy to manage because it has so much, you can say, less scenes and no dialogues at all. But still, it doesn't make sense like that. But still, yes, as you have said, it's not the first time because Disney is popular for that thing that they have mostly cut out the father figure from from their movies to cut to reduce of the cost and the other, you can say, aspects that you have explained. Although that doesn't make that much sense, but still, it's Disney's characteristic. So what we can do about that?
Yeah, definitely. Another popular theory which is
Yeah,
stated
definitely.
here is
Another popular theory which is stated here is that one of the Disney's producers have, you can say, have said something about that, and he revealed that Walt Disney himself have, you can say, a tragic past, especially he lost her mother, and that's why he can say that that may be a factor influencing that the initial Disney movies or most of Disney movies focus more on the mother character and cutting off the father's character, something like that. But still, though, it's obviously a theory. It's just a theory. It isn't, you can say, anything we can say a true fact or something like that. But still, that is one thing which is a fact is that yeah, Disney do like that many of the Disney movies, if you notice, they are mostly based on single mothers. So definitely that is a rigid and true thing. One
yeah.
thing I
One
need
thing
to add
I
up
one
here
thing I need
that
to add up here that
uh, like we have seen that now it's the Bonnie's era because Andy's era is over in that Toy Story 3. So Bonnie's family is complete. They have Bonnie, and then also we have seen his father in the Toy Story 4, and now the Toy Story 5 as well. And I think so in Toy Story 3, no, we haven't seen him in the Toy Story 3 that much, but in Toy Story 4 and 5 we have seen him a lot. So I know that Bodhi's family is short, even shorter than the Andy because Andy has Bodhi, and Bodhi is the only child. But still, now they have introduced uh, the father character, and also now the Andy stated is stating that there will be more child owners in the next Toy Story movie, in the Toy Story 6. So I know that now these days, even after the Toy Story franchise has grown so much, and they have so much budget for the movie, so that's why they could put, you can say, many characters. But back into the 90s when they were just starting the franchise and the animation was so much costly, there was something issue like that. But still, it doesn't make sense that Bonnie has the father and Andy doesn't. And at least they should try to solve that mystery in the Toy Story. I think so. At least now, if not before that, now. Yeah, definitely. And if we move forward, then we have, you can say, from this another theory emerges, you can say another question, and that question is definitely being about Woody. That who is the real owner of Woody? That Woody is a toy around 1940s and 1950s, and definitely Annie is just 6 years old in the first Toy Story movie, which took place in 1995. And at that time, it's, you can say, almost being 30 years or 40 years before that when Woody actually start getting marketed, and after that Woody is round up got popular, and it also got, you can say, we also know the time frame. The exact time frame we don't know, but still the Apollo 11 mission was successful and the moon landing. We have all seen all of this in the Toy Story 2, obviously. And definitely the space movies and the space content because people are more interested into the space. Yeah, are we live?
yeah.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, people are more interested into the space kind of things. So this definitely makes sense that Woody was in the market from 1940s to 1960s, between these 10 to 20 years. So it's definitely not possible that Woody belongs to Andy directly. He must have been, you can say, been passed on by, you can say, her mother,
when she told all that Woody is actually an old family toy. So this definitely makes sense that Woody belongs to someone from the family. Now that definitely doesn't mean that it belongs to his father. It can also belong to Andy's mother, maybe, or maybe any one other relative of Andy, which we haven't seen definitely in the franchise. Uh, any of his grandparents or any of his, you can say, other, you can say, relative from which he got the toy. But yeah, definitely the most sensible thing would be his father. But there are also other many theories too. So what do you think? Who is the real owner of Andy?
The real owner of
Oh, sorry,
Woody,
sorry, sorry.
yeah, the real owner of Woody could be, you can say, the Eddie's father. I still think so. Even after the divorce theory, if he thinks that it's valid, then still the the real owner should be the Eddie's father who passed on the toys to Eddie, because it doesn't make any sense that Eddie got the toy. You can say that Eddie is the original owner of the Woody. That doesn't make any sense because Woody is so old toy, and it's a, you can say, 1950s collectible. And like, as you can see that Eddie's mother said in the Toy Story 2 that Woody is a family toy, so it means that it must be passed on to Eddie by someone. That's why it's called family toy. Otherwise, if it was just like Buzz or any other toy who, you can say, have you can say directly got from the market to the Eddie, then it could be that Eddie's toy. It doesn't, you can say, should be the family toy. So if they called it a family toy, it means that it has some associations with at least one, at least one another member of the family in the family. So it could be Eddie's father definitely, and if not, then might be some other younger cousin or anything like that. But we haven't. There are so many, you can say, theories if you want to theorize it. But still, the most, you can say, uh, guest figure will be Eddie's father in that case, because that doesn't make sense that he got it from a third relative, or uh, you can say not from a cousin or something like that. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, definitely, and also one of the, you can say, other popular thing which most of the people thought, that if Andy is that much old, sorry, again, Andy, really sorry, if Woody is that much old, then why didn't he remember about the Woody's roundup and the past of his, you can say, his storyline? So there are multiple reasons behind this. There can be multiple reasons. One of the definitive reasons is that right now Pixar doesn't want us to show Woody's past. That's why we haven't been shown that. And other reason is that Woody has forgotten his past, because definitely when when Jesse and the Stinky Pete told him that they were so much famous at that time, there were a lot of Woody toys and the Woody's Roundup show, and Woody was shocked to know all of this. It means that he definitely didn't know about this before that he was that much popular. So a popular, you can say, theory to answer this is that Woody was actually packed in attic or storage room during all these years. Because definitely he's a family toy, so he was being purchased. After that, he was in the storage for years, and he doesn't know that what's going on in the outside world. He doesn't know that he have a show or there are other toys too, like him. Definitely, as we have seen also Buzz in the Buzz Lightyear, that Buzz was really shocked to see other Buzz toys in the Ash Toys barn, because as a toy, we don't think so that a toy must, you can say, have that kind of instinct that they know that other toys same like them also exists. So that, you could say, also makes a sensible theory. What do you think about this thing?
Yes, Akhtar, the main thing is here. It, you can say, leads us to another theory, and that's the, you can say, the, you can say, fun of the Toy Story franchise, that it has so many theories to discuss, and it leads us to another theory that, which, you can say, must be there to encounter the fact that we have seen that in the Buzz case as well in the Toy Story 1, that most of the toys, or I think so, maybe all of the toys, didn't know about much about themselves, like they are toys. And if somehow they know that they are toys, that they didn't know about about their origin, that from where they got to, because from where they came, from where they manufactured, something like that. They didn't know about the outside world that much, although they know everything inside the Andy's home. And like we see in the first Toy Story movie, Woody has a complete, you can say, team to broadcast the real time Andy gift wrappings at any event, even its birthday or it's Christmas. Woody has the complete setup to broadcast the live updates to the toys. But still, that's all inside the house, inside that Andy's house. And I think so that it means that toys doesn't get that much outsider. Even if they go, they didn't interact with other toys or other thing like that. And that's why, which from where the next theory came. Which theory is that? I think so. I think so. It's our own theory that in the Toy Story one, we see that the Woody and Andy goes out to the Pizza Planet, and there they have the adventure. It was the, you can say, very first time, I think so, that they interacted with some other toys, and those are the Pizza Planet aliens, and then they go to the Saint home where they interact with their his toys and things like that. That's why when they see the street toys and also the Pizza Planet toys, they're also scared, a little bit of nervous as well. So this theory states that in the Toy Story 1, the toys didn't know about that other toys exist too, and they also have, you can say, communication, things like that. They are also living being like them. While the second Toy Story movie, we already know that they have got so much confidence that they all know that toys are alive, and there are other toys in the world as well. In the same in the third movie, and now fourth, now fifth, and even now in the fifth movie, toys know about the things that there are other things in the world too. The technology exists there too. So that's also makes sense that in the first Toy Story movie, they were shocked to see. In the second Toy Story movie, when Woody realizes his past, you know that the scene when the Stinky Pete and Jesse shows the Andy's roundup to the Woody in the television. It's, you can say, quite similar to the scene where in the first movie the Buzz sees the commercial of the Buzz Lightyear toy in the Sid's home, and the expression of both Buzz and Woody was just like same. The only difference was that Woody got so much excited and fascinated that he literally had so much, you can say, fan base and was so much popular at that time. While the Buzz, when he realized his reality, he got so much depressed and demotivated. But still, the both scenes have the same value, and I think so that this realization makes us to think that the toys are learning. Like we have learning about the franchise for the first to the fifth installment, the toys also keep learning with us. Before that, they were just isolated and have their mini world inside the Andy's room. So thanks to the Buzz that he came, and they have the outside adventure.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you, but also there are some points I think so that also you can say divert us into a totally separate, you can say, cause of discussion, which is actually that what's the consciousness of the toys? Are the toys really alive? Or if they are alive, then why don't they know about their manufacture? Or when the toys get alive, does they get alive after they are manufactured, after they are boxed open? Because in the Toy Story 2, we have seen that that one of the Buzz toys was also alive inside the box. So this theory also doesn't fit. If they are also alive inside the box, inside the packing, Stinky Pete was also alive inside the box. So if a toy is also in full consciousness and alive, even inside the box or packing, then from where did they, you can say, got that consciousness alive? So this also, you can say, is a very, you can say, debatable thing and a debatable theory, which is one of the most basic theory challenging the, you can say, whole Toy Story universe. That how toys are, you can say, how toys comes to life, and why do they don't know about their past, about their history? Because definitely they come into consciousness even in the boxes. So this is also, you can say, a all debatable thing. And here one of the most popular theories to alive. It's just a, you can say, imagination of the kids. First of all, Annie, then Bonnie, and other kids which, you can say, which we see in the movies, that the toys are actually alive. Otherwise, toys are not alive, and that's the reason because they are showing us the kids' mind. In the kids' mind, they didn't know about the past of the toy, and or they, you can say, the future of the toy. They just are living in the present, as you can say, as a kid do. They just didn't think with from the way the toys has been originated or something like that. But definitely at the same time now we have the Lost Toys thing. So how the Lost Toys are, you can say, alive. So this, you can see, is also very debatable things. Thing in my, you can say, knowledge, that it's also a really debatable theory, because it actually, you can say, challenges us to think about diversity of the toys, because definitely in the Toy Story 1, toys knows that other toys are alive because they are all were living together as toys. Yeah, they weren't, you can say, being outside or faced outside toys, and they were shocked about them. But definitely they know that other toys are alive too, like them. But also the same thing here is that how toys are actually alive, what's their reality. So this, you can say, is also a very debatable topic. We will get into this later later in the stream. But for now, let's first of all cover our first theory, which is the real owner of Andy. Sorry, real owner of Woody. Once again, I said Andy. Really sorry. So for this one, definitely I agree with you that the most possible owner for Woody, original owner, is Eddie's father, who has passed the toys to him, and that's also one of the most popular acceptable theories worldwide. And also, you could say there are some other theories too, but that doesn't make any sense, like any other relative or anything like that, because that doesn't make any sense. That if other relative gives or passed on Woody to Eddie, that doesn't make, you could say, any sense. So it must be his father. And if you move towards to the, you can say, this the other theory, which is the reality of toys, then this is one of the most debatable theories, that why toys are alive. Here are, you can say, multiple kind of things being present in this question, because some people thought that actually toys need playtime to stay alive. It was a very popular theory, but that theory was got debunked by Toy Story 4 full and cleanly, because they showed lost toys still being alive, not being played, not have playtime, but still they are all alive. So this theory doesn't make any sense. And the other popular theory is definitely that it's the consciousness of the kids who are playing, their imagination is not real. But if it's also the case, then how did the lost toys are doing all these adventures? So this also, you could say, doesn't make anything like that. What are your thoughts over this, or anything if you have searched like that, or if you can do? Yeah.
Yeah, about the reality of toys, I think so that leads us to the same thing I have said previously, that in the first Toy Story movie, we have seen that toys are isolated, while it's, you can say, in the first Toy Story movie, we have one adventure, one outside world adventure. In the second Toy Story movie, we have another outside world adventure. In the third movie, we have also have a great outside world adventure. And in the fourth film, they finally introduced the concept of the lost toys, and now Woody is constantly living as a lost toy. So, from an isolated toy, Woody has successfully become a lost toy who is roaming around with the other toys in the world and meeting, you can say, almost every new day with new toys every day. And obviously, the new childs as well, and other, you can say, things like that, like tech catches. So, at yeah, back at the home, the Buzz and his gang has also uh, meet the tech toys and other things like that. So they also know about the outside world now. And I think so that that's make the sense that the reality of toys is that the toys are alive in themselves. It doesn't any imagination of any kid, because if it could be, then after it got debunked at the first movement, when the Woody and Buzz have the Pizza Planet, you can say, fight at the Pizza Planet and then at the fuel station, because when they are in the outside world, obviously they aren't in the imagination of any kid. And is that most probably the second movie when Woody got kidnapped and Buzz went with a few toys to save him. This wasn't any imagination as well. So toys themselves are alive. They aren't imagination of any kid, any specific kid or character. And the second thing is that it doesn't need playtime to stay alive, and that's because, just like you said, that lost toys are still alive. Although it most of them haven't, you can say, got played by any kid for a very long time, and they are still alive and they have their own world. So it also makes sense. Yes, the theory was so much popular after the Toy Story 3, because we see that toys are so much worried that what will happen with them. Even though at the very start they have already stated that the Andy has been, you can say, played with them long ago. So the theory was, you can say, that not that much strong from the start, because even if you can say, base it upon the Toy Story 3, that toys really need the playtime to alive, and that's why they uh, got fascinated by the idea of living in a daycare where kids constantly play with them, and also that's why there are so many toys who are happy there. But still, in the movie's beginning in the Toy Story 3, they have already said that Eddie has played with them a long time ago. That means that makes sense that toys are still then alive by that date. So obviously the toys are alive. They didn't need the playtime to stay alive, and also they are alive in themselves. They aren't the imagination of any kid.
Yeah, definitely that makes absolute sense because there are multiple other things supporting this theory as well. Because if it wasn't like that, then definitely the toys would have been, you can say, already you can say vanished when Eddie stopped playing with them. And also, there isn't any official detail revealed over this yet as well. But if we try to debunk that, the most suitable theory is that what came into my mind is that it's definitely that the toys are being, you can say, alive because of, you can say, a mixed type of thing. It is also the imagination which sparks the life, because definitely in Toy Story 4 we see that Forky was just a, you can say, a piece of a do-it-yourself kind of thing, a piece of trash. But when Bonnie labels her as a toy, he comes into the life, and after that you can say he became a toy. So that's definitely made the thing that to become a toy, one toy must need a, you can say, a spark of life from someone. On the other hand, I think so that they can also survive on their own once they got, you can say, that kind of consciousness that
Yeah,
you
really sorry. I
mentioned.
have a counter question here. That is that what's about the Buzz Lightyear that was the boss in the Toy Story 2, and what about the Stinky Pete who never got played by any kid, especially you can say till that you can say Toy Story 2.
Yeah, definitely. I That's why I'm saying that what I've said, that when Bodhi labeled her as a toy, definitely. On the other hand, any toy which had been made, if it's a toy, and definitely there is some kind of human involvement in that kind of thing. So it not in if not in a conscious way, in a subconscious way, that's actually human who are labeling them as toys or making them as toys. So they are actually putting life in them. That's what I think. So that's what I have the theory for this, which makes definitely a sense. Because if all the toys which are made as a toys are definitely been sparked as an imaginative content produced by humans. On the other hand, if we can say any other do-it-yourself kind of thing like Forky can also be labeled as a toy by a human, and using his imagination, he can also become alive. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
You're right, but in the Toy Story, we have also see the tech gadgets in the latest Toy Story that they are alive too. So how they are alive? Like you have said that one character which is labeled as toy got alive. That how the toys are alive. Although we have seen that there was Eddie's dog, but that dog, although he know that that dog know the toys are alive, he's a very good companion of Woody and Buzz as well. And but he doesn't have, you can say, any communication with them, like talking to them or something like that. So it means that they doesn't, you can say, focus on every character to make them to you can say lively talking environment. So why they only choose the toys and then now the technology? And like you said that anything which they could indicate or labeled as toy that got to the life. Then what about the lily pad and other tech gadgets? Are they treated as toys as well?
Yeah, definitely. That's what make generally sense, because the other tech gadgets, they are definitely toys. They were toy gadgets with a lot of advanced tech features, like smarty pants and toys like that. They were definitely some toys. And on the other hand, if you ask about Lilipad, then definitely she was also actually a toy tablet to some extent. She's a tablet, but definitely a playing tablet, and you can regard her as a toy. And if not like that, then she's also a tablet which have, you can say, AI features or something like that. So that's what came into my mind. But still, that's just a theory. It's just a theory, yeah.
That's why I'm asking the counter questions to, you can say, make it more strong or thing like that, because the counter questions make a theory more precise and strong, and also the audience get more they get to know more about the things, like the questions which are arising in their minds. They also make the theory more solid and strong. And yes, you are right that the things that to some extent we can say that the toys are alive because of being labeled as a toys. They got and they come to the life in the Toy Story universe. Yes.
Yeah, and also now one of the major question before closing of this theory is definitely we can also cover it in this theory that how toys can die. Does toys can die or are they immortal? Because this is also a really debatable question in the Toy Story franchise because some people say that toys are immortal, they can die because we have seen the sick toys, even after being brutally, you can say, tortured and being and destructed, they were still alive as mutant toys. But on the other hand, in the Toy Story 3, in the final scenes, when we see the incinerator who is pulling all the toys, we see that kind of fear in their eyes that everything is just getting over. So, does the toys can die or are they immortal? What are your thoughts over this?
Yes, I think so that toys are mortal, and that's because the fact, obviously, because toys, first of all, the theory that toys aren't immortal, about just for the theory that toys need playtime to stay alive. And after the Toy Story 4, a Lost Toys concept has emerges, it debunks that theory and it debunks the theory of, you can say, toys getting died as well because the toys are immortal, and it seems that's why because we have so many examples of that. Like the oldest toy we know in the Toy Story is Woody. He's still alive. Also, that toys which are uh, you can say shelves or being there in the you can say an isolated place like the lost toys. They are still there and they have their mini world inside that world, and they are still living their lives. So they didn't have any child or like the character like Stinky Pete, which haven't got played by any single kid till the Toy Story 2. So obviously it totally debunks the theory that toys can die. Toys are immortal, and that's why uh, that they didn't need any playtime or thing like that. They are just immortal. Yes, once they came to the life, they got labeled as toys. They came to life, they are immortal. But also the concept
Yeah.
that Woody is getting aging. That's also make you can say some worriness about it that why they are showing it like that, that Woody is aging. We know that Woody is quite old to eye, but still, uh, what we could expect that was it only a just a you can say color only a color diminish or anything other like that, anything beyond like that, that actually the Woody is getting older, and if the toys are aging in actual, not in the physically only, because obviously when a toy go, Woody wasn't like that when he was with Andy, because now he's with the lost toys. Maybe he doesn't get that much care or thing like that. So in the wild, he started getting you can say dirty and things like that, and it shows it appears like that he's getting older because it's you can say from his back of his head we can see that the his hair's color is you can say fading up. So that concept, I want to see the Toy Story 6 that how they pursue that concept, that whether they will take it just as a you can say simple thing like that's because just Woody is in the wild now, or will they take it to a next stage where you can say aging even more older and the other things like that, that he got weak as well, other thing like that, which will you can say realizes the theory of Toys that I think so.
Yeah, that there is a popular theory over this that toys are immortal, but until they are deformed to an extent on which they can't, you can say, come back to life. Because you can say something like elastic limit or something like that in the physics, that if they are, you can say, destroyed to some extent, from which they can still, you can say, be stay alive, then they are alive. Otherwise, if they are, you can say, being destroyed very brutally, like in the incinerator, or fully deformed or recycled to something newer, then definitely they are not alive anymore. That's the most popular theory, and I think so most suitable theory for this, that which suits all you can say loopholes of other theories, because it also makes sense that why definitely they age up as they are being objects, but on the other hand they are immortal, but they are immortal to the extent until they are deformed a lot of you can say with a lot of effort, or are being put into the incinerator, as we have seen into the Toy Story 3. After that, they can, you can say, die or something like that. That's what I think, thought so, yeah. But they are immortal, yeah.
Yes, it makes sense, and that's why in the Toy Story 3 they are so much scared, and they already said that if it's sad that we all are here. Yeah, that makes totally sense. I really forgot about it. Yes, thanks for reminding of that. Yes, it could, you can say, possibly, you can say, a very good theory to answer this question, that the toys could die even when they have, you can say, go through such a, you can say, huge damage, that from which they couldn't, you can say, get back to their original shape or thing like that. Yes, obviously.
So if we move forward to the next theory, then it's definitely going to be some theory from Toy Story 2. And this theory uh, is actually about Wheezy. So this theory states that in Toy Story 2, Wheezy actually trapped Woody for being sold in the yard sale, and he wasn't. You can say he was just pretending the things he would. He did definitely know that he would say that to Woody, and Woody would definitely come to save him, and he could trap him. So, what are your thoughts over this theory? Because this theory is, you can say, kind of, for in my sense, it's, you can say, 50-50, because on one side it seems to be possible, because you can see that he has been shown as a very clever character, that uh, after Woody was lost and taken away by Al, he came up crying and saying, like he was doing acting in front of everyone, to ask Buzz and other toys to bring back Woody. But on the other hand, he just, you can say, go there in the yard sale and straight away put Woody into the danger. But also there is another thing from the other side. If we see that he doesn't know that Al would come there and Al would just, you can say, stole Andy. It wasn't, you can say, something he did intentionally. What are your thoughts on that? Does Weezy was a traitor? Does he, you can say, plan to
The major thing here is that after that, in the Toy Story 3, there wasn't the character of VZ at all, and we haven't showed that what uh, have happened with him after the event of Toy Story 2. That, you can say, a bit concerning, because it could answer that thing, that whether he was a good guy or a bad guy. Because obviously, if we could see him in the Toy Story 3, then we could also judge the character. But the character was only there for the Toy Story 2. He wasn't even there in the Toy Story 1. And he diminished with the Toy Story 2. He wasn't go with another installment. He only appeared for one movie, so we can't judge him at all. And also, when the fact that he didn't know that Al will be there, and Al is in a search for the Woody. He really want the Woody, and he will kidnap them, obviously. But yes, to the other hand, many people think that he does it intentionally, and that's because they think that he doesn't try to save himself, and at least not himself. He should think about Woody. That if he doesn't do the thing, he doesn't do anything for himself, the Woody will definitely get in danger. So he doesn't think about it, and he doesn't do any hard work at all to save himself and Woody too. So it also makes the things, but you could say that it's a 50-50 thing. It's just like, you could say, viewing the uh, angle from one perspective, just like the twice in the first Toy Story movie saw that Woody was pushing the bus outside the window, while there was nothing like that. Actually, the Woody was trying to just put him behind the table, so that the, you can say, Andy take him to the pizza planet and not the bus. So it was just one view. And when we got the second view, then we could, you can say, get the things more clear. That's why I said that if his character was there in the third installment, and or maybe even the flashback in the flashbacks of the Toy Story 3, where we see that where Bo Peep goes and where the other characters goes, even if there we got something over the video, that we could judge the character. But one film is too short to judge him, obviously. So it's 50-50.
Yeah, definitely. And now, if we move on to the, you can say, other theory, then it's the theory related to a Sid, that he's one of the characters in the Toy Story universe, who only knows that toys are actually alive, and not even, you can say, known this thing. He also have witnessed this thing, So the theory actually suggests that but it's also not longer a theory. It's also being official that the garbage man in the Toy Story 3 we have seen, he's the Sid who has grown up. And this theory actually states that Sid from Toy Story has been died, and we have also made a shot on it. So this theory actually, you can say, connects the universes of Toy Story and Coco. In the Coco, we have seen, you can say, Toy Story toys hanging on the walls in a scene. This makes direct sense that actually both of them are taking place in the same universe. And on the other hand, in the Land of Dead, when Megal was there, we saw in a music concert that there was a same T-shirt in the Land of Dead. So this, you can say, this detail is actually a lot of, you can say, speculating around on the internet that actually that kid is Sid who had died. So what are your thoughts over this thing? Because personally, I don't think so that it would be something like that. It can just be a coincidence or some characters, because definitely one thing we should keep in our mind that all of these Disney characters they kept appearing in different movies, and the reason is that they sometimes they do this intentionally, and sometimes they do this unintentionally. And the reason is definitely that because it's about the, you could say, modeling a character. When you are making a 3D movie, you have to think a lot. You can, if you have to show a concert, you can model each and every character. So what happened at that time, you just take a sample character and made other characters out of them by creating, you can say, different versions of the same character model which you already have, using as a base. So that's what I think so personally would have been the issue, because it doesn't make sense that Sid have died, because I think so that he can return in any upcoming Toy Story movie. I don't think so that he had died. What is your take over this?
I was a little bit searching about it because while working on the short, I came to a fandom as well, which you can say have about that character, which specifically appeared in the Coco. I was looking for that fandom, but I couldn't find it here right now. And in that fandom, there was a proper name of that guy, and I think so it was inspired from a popular singer, uh, maybe the character, and that's why he was there in the Land of Dead 2, but he's died now or thing like that. But yes, according to the research, it also stated, but it's still unclear that whether the character was Sid or not. Although it has a fandom and a name, but still it's unclear. I think so. It's not official because Pixar has no words on it. They haven't said anything about it that whether it is Sid or not. It could be Sid as well, but also not as well. But I think so that it's not Sid, and that's because obviously, if you look at his hairs aren't like Sid. They are so long, and also its other general appearance isn't look like Sid. Like we have seen in the Coco film, that every character, even after his death, his skeleton generally look like Sid's original appearance, right? Like Hector, his original appearance, his skeleton matches his original appearance like a slim face. And Ernesto de la Cruz, his character, his skeleton character looks just like his original character when he was alive. But it isn't the case with the Sid character. It was so much, you can say, odd looking with the Sid. Sid doesn't seem like that even in the Toy Story 3. So that doesn't make any sense that he said, yes, as you have said, the major reason could be like they you can say sometimes use a multiple, you can say, characters for the same film, just you can say modified them, and sometimes the multiple design sheets or things like that. It might be some kind of that thing that they have put on just the Sid shirt design to that character. And also that skull matches the Coco's, you can say, theme to the Coco's theme as well. Like Coco's theme in the Coco's movie, the skull is a major symbol. So it doesn't it because it makes sense that they have used it there too, because it is the requirement of that movie as well.
Yeah, definitely. You're right here, and I do agree that it's not seen. And also, we have many, you can say, confirmations, like you mentioned the finding. So this definitely, you can say, confirms the thing that it's not said. And on the other hand, if we, you can say, yeah, if we move forward to the next theory, that it's actually based on this is also a very dark theory. This theory is related to the toys. So this theory actually states that toys are actually, you can say, killing other toys who are killing, you can say, or you can say neutralizing other toys who are, you can say, revealing the secrets of their identity to the world. And for the, you can see, wait a minute. And the evidence of this is that in the first movie, Woody breaks the ultimate rule by speaking directly to Sid to save Buzz. But while it was, no toy ever dares to do it again in any sequel, even in life or death situations like the incinerator. Theorists believe that toy community enforces this rule with extreme secrecy and severe consequences to protect their species. So, what are your take over this? What is your take over this? Is it something like that, that toys are so brutal that if some toy reveals their secret, even if from it's from their own community, definitely it's a toy, they would just neutralize him or silence him by some means?
Yes, I do not think so because if it was a case, then Woody wasn't alive there for more Toy Story movies, obviously. Yes, there is a rule, and they are still restrict with that rule. They just break it one time when Woody, you can say, appeared alive to be in front of the set. But after that, we haven't seen that any particular location they do that, and that's maybe because just like that they are committed to it. They didn't want to break that rule. Yes, the Toy Story one was a situation like that. I think so. That was uh, you can say need of the moment that someone should give a shut up call to Sid so that he so that he stopped terrorizing his toys. Obviously, it was for the sake of the toys, so it was allowable at that particular situation. But at the second context, like the incinerator scene, there was nothing to say about it. Like it was just a toy, just a fight between two toys, like Lotso and uh, Woody and Buzz toy gang. So it was just between the toys, and it should be between the toys. But yes, when there is something which is hurting the toy community from the outside, then there must be something to do.
Yeah, definitely. I also think so that the theory just exaggerated at that part, that toys just saw us do something like that, because so far in all the Toy Story movies, we have always seen lots of doing that kind of things along with toys. But that too, he was doing just to make his dominance being acknowledged, and he being the leader of the, you can say, Sunnyside daycare and controlling everything there. So it was just his bossy attitude, not any rule or any enforcement who was doing that kind of thing. And anyways, moving forward, the next theory is, you can say, a very good theory. This theory is actually that from in the Monsters Inc. we have a character named Boo. This theory states that Boo is actually Bonnie, Bonnie from Toy Story. So this theory has, you can say, a lot of, you can say, pillars to establish it. Like Boo is Bonnie from Toy Story. Yeah, but definitely, lately the theory is so much popular that it got, you can say, a lot of, you can say, acceptance at a time. But later on, when on the fandoms and also from the different, you can say, sources, it was revealed that definitely they are not the same, because Boo's real name is Mary, whereas Bonnie's real name is Bonnie Anderson. They have different appearances and they live in the separate universe and timelines. But yet, still, there are a lot of, you could say, conspiracy theories still there that Boo is somehow related to Bonnie. If not, he's the Bonnie, then she's somehow related to the Bonnie. But also, their surname is not same. Yet, still, maybe possible they are, you could say, second cousins, something like that. What do you think about this?
Yes, definitely. As per we know that the Disney and Pixar movies have the concept of multi dimensions, sorry, multiverse, and they most of them have the, you can say, things like that. Two or three movies take place in the same universe. And so there are so many theories about that kind of things. And definitely the Boo and Bodhi has many things to similar. And I think so that somehow, like some people said that Eddie was also, you can say, has linked with the monster Inc. by, you can say, a sticker in his room of a monster which is similar to the monster Inc. Main antagonist. So there are many theories which state that that monster was actually Andy's monster who came there to scare him every night. And just like the scenario with the body, like they also, you can say, have figured out a sticker of a monster from which they depict that his body has the monster, or it has also a monster for the monster Inc. And that's why which is connects him to the monster Inc. And also then with the bow, that bow is actually Boney. Maybe there we called him the bow only, and here his full name is Boney. But I think so in particular, the Bo and Boney are different persons. Yes, yet they could have some kind of relationship between them. But one thing is sure, I think so, that Toy Story is somehow related to the Monster Inc. universe. Whether or not now, that maybe in some other movies as well, in more Toy Story movies, or especially in the Monster Inc. movie, we might got some Easter eggs about that too.
Yeah, definitely. Because after all these Pixar movies are taking place in the same universe, so they are somehow, you can say, still connected. And also, that other reason is that if you get into technical reasons, then as I have discussed with you, that when you're modeling characters, especially in 3D, then you try to use the available resources a lot, especially for the characters which are, you can say, or the background things which are not that much, you can say, more, you can say, attentive to the audience. So that's why you use that kind of things. Yeah. So anyways, I think so that that's enough for today's stream, all these theories. And there are still a lot more theories for Toy Story. But still, we'll cover them in the upcoming streams, because I think so that it's you can say so long for now. So that's all from this video. If you like our stream, our content, then please do subscribe this channel for more streams and content like this. And thanks for watching. Yeah.
Yes, thanks for watching and joining. Yes.